They need to face off, and they need to go fast against a YCP squad that looks like that they are no victim to pace. For the Spartans, they aim to control this map. For the Tigers, they need to prowl, and they need to make those Spartans their prey.
They're going to have to show that 300 Spartans is not going to be enough. They need more. Certainly a lot more than just 4. But off the opening rip, we're going to be on the POV with none other than Nazcaz. Definitely one of the top players in the league. We see him a lot in the Quigley reports on who's the kill leader, the assist leader, etc. But he will lose that duel against Darren, who had a green gun, as he is going to actually pick a couple of shots, trying to utilize as much of the ammo count as he can on this very powerful weapon, especially if it's Nazcaz you're looking at on the other side. Frash trying to line that up on him. Couldn't connect that one. Can't connect the second one either, and Frash getting the better of him and Nest.
Smart moves to at least clear out half of your mag well, just making sure that no one else is going to be able to profit from it. Also, shout it over to Isaac right now, who we're online with. They got 3 assists off of their 1 life, and this is also their last match in Collegiate Halo. So this is kind of a special one for them. YCP trying to make it even better as they continue to pin back all RIT. More progress being made on hill number 1. And like you guys said in the chat a little bit earlier, very, very Irish of us here on this St. Paddy's Day of Halo.
Green and orange. I think we should start bringing out some Irish car bombs, maybe a little bit of Guinness. I don't know. I think we're going to have to take an honorary shot here some point in the middle of the series, MonkeyMan. But, or at least we would if we were not professionals in our craft, you know. But maybe next time, maybe later. Who knows? Going back to this game, though, the York College Spartans are slipper away from capping that hill, but the RIT Tigers looking to try and keep it at least orange for a little longer, but it's not going to matter because Nazcaz takes down the last remaining defender and is going to turn it green.
One thing you got to keep in mind when you're RIT in that moment, you are so close to splitting open that hill, and it was always going to be at their detriment to attempt to get that one open. If they could outright steal it, control some of those spawns, all power to them. The problem is that then they were drawn off from that C plat, which is the next rotational piece. YCP able to reposition, take the high ground, steal that away from the Tigers. Now you see a lot of skirmishing. They at least trade out from mid. We've had 2-man control for tower. They clear out 1. All that's left is Isaac. They're going to sneak from underneath, and the Vandals are at least looking to get right around the Spartans from on high. They slam it down in the face, and they will stop their progress here.
Stop them there, and not a moment too soon either. Significantly easier to take over a hill if it's not a sliver or a splinter away from flipping to the opposite team. However, Darren is taking so much damage behind this turbine, and that will be a camo again in the hands of York College as they already collapse and take out the defenders, and RIT goes 3 dead, just now spawning. Last spawner, Blaze, getting taken down as well, so a split spawn situation for the Tigers.
It's going to be a tough recovery. You got to start looking at, all right, do we end up running down lane, challenging to this? If you're going to do so, you have to win in mid very quickly. They at least have that counterinsurgency right around that spike spawn, but S7 is now up for grabs. They have 1 man that's on hill, and then Orca able to at least grab 1, but they're on too many separate lanes, and it's the same story as last time. An attempt late term, but it flips with only a millimeter that was needed. Now A is where we split 2.
Yeah, RIT just getting really unlucky with these defenses, and York College really just running away with the amount of hill time that they've been able to grab. Nazcaz getting 11 kills, 5 deaths as well. Definitely making sure that RIT are unable to really lock things down, as he's just going to repeat the confidence out of Nazcaz, really showing they're finally getting cleaned up over by Kedor, but going to be immediately traded out by his teammate Guba.
2.0 KD and then some there for Nazcaz. And again, they're already halfway on progress for hill number 3. You've got Darren with this S7. They've only got 1 breadstick to their name, and they are having to play super backline with this power weapon. They don't want to give it up over to the Spartans, but they're also just not finding any targets, trying to chop it down with a final bullet into the all mag, and they at least get 1, even if it's not with the weapon itself. Trying to be able to push up, but it's too little, too late. The Tigers coming up late to the party. We're over a minute of neutral time. We are matching pace right now, Revanite, of what YCP did before as we head over to Mud.
Yeah, RIT, they are able to at least put up somewhat of a fight, but it really is just the clean and efficient plays coming out of York College that have been the game changer for the Spartans and has really been the nail in the coffin for the RIT Orange. And honestly, Nazcast as well, just coming up so strong, almost to 15 kills, trying to look for it there. Couldn't quite get it as he was double teamed outside of Pillar Door, but a little bit of a confident play from RIT as we finally get a hill across the halfway point. Could this be the hill, or will it be the Spartans stealing it once again?
It's a tough hill to dislodge, even though it's very open, especially if you generally lose control of high ground. Now, they had one man dead to rights. The QT's online as well, and you're having to play a lot more defense. Underneath bridge, right from behind that pillar section, Nazcast is given free 2 targets, can be able to take out 1. They get the trade. So even when it comes up so close, now we're in a flip of the script. Same thing the Spartans were doing unto RIT. This one looks like a much more defensible effort for them. Blaze Flame right around the corner. He's a lone man on a mission. He's trying to dive in between a bunch of green men. These guys are not from Mars. They're from Pennsylvania, and they're here to put your head on a pike.
That was a little bit of a mistake. If you look at the hill, they do end up getting it, but they could have gotten it so much earlier with more time left on the clock to try and come back this game, but a little bit too aggressive trying to take down Nazcast. I understand he's the Demon King. He is the giant. He is your Goliath to your David. You got to shut him down, but I think they could have just stayed on hill for like that half second longer, ensured that it was grabbed a little bit earlier, but Nazcast almost hitting a 20 bomb in this game as we do at least get 1 hill in favor of the Tigers.
Killing spree, 20-8. Nazcast looking fine. I think that timing was okay. They really don't have to worry about the timer right now because there's so much on-site pressure that has not been happening so frequently for RIT. You just got to go it as you can. For Nazcast, has to reposition from off top of this tower. They at least see 1 man late, and they're trying to support where the comms are coming from as they activate from somewhere else. Back tap, and a double kill. Man. Nazcast making it a twofer.
We saw that writing on the wall so early as that play was formulating in the mind of Nazcast. We knew what he was about to do before he even did it, and unfortunately for the RIT Tigers, they just gave up on trying to find where Nazcast was inside that back tower way too early, and they paid for it.
Have to pay for it with a 4-0, or rather a 4-1. They at least get 1 hill when it was onto that live fire. When it's on this Slayer, this has got to be where they make their mark the same way the Bobcats did unto them a little bit ago. We go into game number 2. We're live and online.
And first blood drawn by Goob with a grenade, returned by Pure Leaf in the kill feed as well, as this battle for camo is going to be the name of the game, but it is going to be Isaac, the man who's in his swan song for his college Halo career, if I can just get the words out of my mouth correctly, is going to open it up and allow Nazcast to swoop in and take this camo for himself.
I like that starter kit. You got 7 kills and a ton of damage out of Nazcast, able to get their first one as they're combo killing over into that utility room. I don't like that RIT is basically staring down this hallway and has no pressure to take on any of these lanes, finding one by themselves as their teammate up top rock, and actually they're going to be able to finish off even more. So it's 8-5, 13 kills as swiftly as you can say 55 seconds. And RIT Tigers, they're on the back foot. Those paws are moving forward again.
The Spartans with their long spears, bronze shields, and red cloaks, depending on what movie you watch, are still putting up a ton of power, a ton of pressure on RIT. Inane Orca is going to stay alive for now, but here comes a flying Goob, but he delivers a stick right into his crotch. Good luck getting any future generations out of that one.
The entire bloodline maybe just felt that one. As you're having Isaac trying to swing on in. Bit of a crouch battle. Squats day is Wednesdays, but apparently it's happening here tonight on a fantastic Tuesday. Blaze Flame 4-3 as they take over this doorway, trying to at least punch this one out into Fridge. Too many targets, and yet they're finding ones to land on the floor. 24 kills already, and they're just down by 3. Oh, but a double!
A double that gets traded out. 15-12. Spartans are still alive. 16-12 now with Inane Orca finally falling inside a yellow fridge. The rest of the team is going to respawn. It's going to take a little bit longer for Orca to respawn with the rest of his team. He does so now. And the attack from P2, very, very strong, very orange, as well as green. Just looks like they're going to take some extra precautions, look at other angles of the map, and put pressure elsewhere while RIT are left to retreat.
It's a lot of damage spread amongst all of the Tigers. They're basically stuck in the corner. It's a bunch of kittens at this point, all painted in orange stripes. And Isaac has moved up with his teammate as they take top S2. But for this side of things, RIT has now been on just a real point. They have not been able to do too much to force YCP to be uncomfortable, especially with another camo going into their hands. They've taken utility over and over and again. Are we playing ARAM? Is this a MOBA? Because we keep going to the same lane.
Same lane, same story. As multiple members from RIT just keep getting taken down in P-side and Fridge, as well as, once again, they are continuing to try and push this lane, just trying to strongman this lane as much as they can, but the power-up control is not in their favor for them to be able to get away with stuff like this, and your college are just going to take the rest of the match, say thank you very much, and they're going to look to apply pressure elsewhere, and it's just not going in favor for RIT. 27-14, your college has run away with it.
18 assists. 18 assists for YCP right now from what they've collected out of their 29 kills. Make it now 19. But to that same end, you've got 7 for RIT. Everything is separated and segmented between these players. That's not what you want to have. You want to have a lot of shared damage, be able to at least cross-cut some of these skirmishes that are happening. Aiming a G-slide straight back into the fray. You know, getting traded out. That's 11-5 right now for good old Gooba. But 32-19, a much more separated feature as they're up by 13, trying to be able to dash past them, and did a little bit too much right there. They split the gap, but damage has been spread. Gooba trying to live for a little bit longer, and they give themselves up the back tap. Oh, they're going to give them some goods.
Giving a couple love taps from behind as well. Giving that delicious cake and extra pat as well. Got that sweet tooth, Gooba does. And honestly, deservedly so. Living that way that he did inside of Blue Gen. Very, very well done by the man. So he definitely, we'll give him his flowers for that one. I think that was a very well-earned tea bag.
That one, you can add that to the old spice reel if you need to. But for RIT, that's unfortunate because it felt like they were at least going to go even trade, maybe come up +1. Another camo. YCP is already priming for it up in 15 seconds. RIT understands how at least necessary it is to start positioning, but it's all of a bait play because look at Frash coming up from behind, catching him off of that flank. Isaac was all of a decoy, and so was that camo, up by 20. The pace was too fast, was too hot for the Tigers to handle moving into the Aquarius. You're talking about fast games. YCP is trying to set a land speed record.
Pace was too fast, it just won't last. So you got to forfeit the game. And unfortunately for RIT, they're not allowed to forfeit as we are in a professional setting here at College Halo. But at least they are trying their best to ensure that no stakes will be delivered today. But with that series of kills over in car 2, they're not going to be able to do so. 49-28, and it looks like stake may still very much be on the menu for your college.
One last kill. Miracle run would be necessary for RIT to be able to pick it up here, and so you're looking towards what comes next. You actually had a guy behind you, and that's been the awareness that's been missing. 50-28. They will stake it out. So some extra juicy ones. There was actually, I guess, some extra nibbles from what their some from what the barbecue was before. They're like, we got leftovers. We'll serve it up to RIT.
A little bit of brisket that's left over, you know, maybe half rack of ribs or a quarter rack of ribs. You never know. But
jerky, I swear. But there's been a lot of lessons learned by them, at least through the early month and a half of Collegiate Halo. We go to game number 3. The Tigers need to be consistent. Spartans need to get the job done.
And who is it going to be? It's going to all come down to who can grab this sniper rifle, as we do have the wrong overlays again, Kish. By the way, they're backwards. He'll fix that in just a second. I am not worried about it at all. They're good now, as we have Nazcast with the double kill and also a more or less full S7 to play with. His teammate Goob has one as well. He's going to line this one up for an inane Orca with the overshield. He's going to be able to do so. Can't hit the no-scope. Can he hit this one as well? No, he can't. A little greedy play from Nazcast is going to be in the favor of an inane Orca.
That's a tough position to have to play for as well. Very telegraphed that Orca was going to rotate out from that backside of stairwell, from especially that sniper spawn. But not hitting the broadside of a barn is not going to help you out either. It's going to have that first flag pull, and it's going to be off the Snipeman himself in Gooba. As they're maybe going to run away with this completely. They go sewer side and up this long hallway. They are being tracked down from behind, so they're going to try and hug this hallway. They do have at least one man tracking them. Can RIT be able to catch up? It doesn't look like it's going to happen. They've got some good coverage, and they will be able to at least get his first cap in the first minute 15.
Great trust in the rest of his team to be able to clean up that damage. All he did was turn around, throw a grenade, and then he went right back to grabbing that flag and moving it across the map. So great job by Gooba, believing in his team to be able to get those kills. But as we take a look at the kill feed, it is once again just so much green and not so much orange. Darren gets taken down. That's 4 dead once again. And I did say earlier that Forbidden was not YCP's strongest maps, but it looks like they've definitely cleaned it up since I personally have seen him play this map last.
I mean, if you look at your weakness, you obviously know what your strengths are, but you got to work on what makes you vulnerable, what makes you weak, and make it strong. And that's exactly what YCP is doing. They've locked down every lane. You're talking about Slayer being a fast game type. CTF, when played by the right squads, is probably the fastest game type, regardless of map. They nailed down the Tigers in top mid. They're going to have that OS unlocked, and it looks like that we're going to go on to one last field trip. This defense has got to show up, but with 3 down, you've only got Pure Leaf Ice-T to try and take on literally everybody, and Gooba just cleared him out.
He cleared out and taken out, and so is Blaze Flame. He gets extinguished by some laser shots from the York College Spartans, and as the grenades come flying in, the flag goes flying out and away, grabbed by Frash, already running it across the middle of the map, and Darren, he's just going to take some losses, and he's just going to try and push as aggressively as he can to contest this flag, but Pure Leaf finds himself a wall, and it's Nazcast.
Blaze Flame, he got 2 targets. Oh, no way.
Oh, he's crouch walking.
Come on,
Fresh.
Come on, Fresh.
Come on, Fresh.
All right.
Okay, well.
A little bit of a dance, a little bit of a glide, and a little bit of easy living